Doctors talk about water safety a lot, and if they don't, they should. Here's why. Let's react to some clips.
She was on vacation with her boyfriend and his family in the Bahamas when she posed with sharks for her Instagram.
Oh my God, I hope it's not a great white, tiger, or bull shark. I heard those are the worst ones.
Suddenly, a 5-foot shark sinks its teeth into her arm.
You know what's wild? I'm pretty sure I have a picture of me swimming with these exact sharks in the same exact spot.
These photos capture the instant of the attack.
Why is he taking photos? Dive in and help.
It was a very scary experience. I was pulled underwater for about 8 seconds.
That's a very specific time. Most people go for 7. She said a little longer than 7.
Katerina was able to free herself, but was left with this giant gash and teeth marks on her arm.
With shark bites, they could be absolutely devastating, especially from a great white, and you have that very characteristic shape of a shark bite. The majority of them, though, are not as devastating as that. But if you ask experts, and I don't know, I still feel a little weird about it. They're like, oh, if you going in the ocean is so much safer from a shark attack perspective. You're much more likely to be involved in a car accident going to the beach than you are to be attacked by a shark. Yeah, but sharks are still scary.
What would you recommend? What's the best way for me to get involved and to be jumping from quite a height?
Well, I think you can see the most imposing feature within this building is in fact the 10-meter platform up there.
That's about 30 feet.
So shoulders forwards, okay, exactly like that last one, land on your feet.
Is he an experienced diver? I hope they're not letting just a random person do this. Remember, when you jump from extreme heights, 30 feet isn't extreme, it is high. Water doesn't displace as quickly as your force is coming in, entering the water. And as a result, the water acts as a solid surface almost and exerts massive pressure on you. If you jump from a high enough spot, it's like hitting a full-on concrete surface. Oh, he's gonna have bruising. Oh.
That one went a little wrong in that you did land fully on your ass. And I'm sure you're fully aware of that.
That's a bruised buttock. He tried walking in midair. That was impressive.
I just thought I'd share with you some of the end results, really. Just take a look at this.
Oh! There's a lot of musculature there, so there's a lot of superficial bleeding. That's a hematoma.
Girl versus python.
Why is there a python in the pool?
Yep, that's a young girl swimming with a giant yellow Burmese python.
Don't Burmese python eat like deer by biting and choking them out?
The 250-pound snake, its handler explains, was always treated as a pet and part of the family. The video by Viral Hog has caused quite the debate on social media about the safety of the 12-year-old being so close to the serpent.
Yeah, that seems really dangerous. I've held one of these before. They're really scary. Here's a video.
They won't do anything at all.
Okay, they won't do anything?
Nope,
You promise?
I promise. I probably shouldn't promise that.
27-year-old Nick Native was vacationing with friends on Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas when he made the brazen leap from the 11th floor deck into shark-infested water 100 feet below. It's a miracle that he didn't lose his life and that he wasn't even seriously injured.
Yeah, that's really high.
Hitting the water, the impact was pretty big because it was pretty high up, and it impacted my tailbone and my neck pretty hard. But, luckily it wasn't anything serious.
Luckily, yeah, why would you do that?
He admits he was still a little drunk from the night before.
That's one thing we don't talk about, that young males, the leading cause of death is accidents. And a lot of times it's accidents due to behavior like this. Man, you gotta be careful out here.
A swimmer is saved from a treacherous rip current.
Oh, rip currents.
There you go. There was no way in heck I was letting him go.
The video starts with the hero in the ocean off the Jersey shore when he sees a swimmer in distress. You can see how rough the waves are.
With rip currents, you really just want to do your best to try and stay calm, lay on your back so that you don't waste your energy trying to fight the rip current. Some people say if you're a really good swimmer, you can beat it. No, you can't. Some of the rip currents are as fast as sprinters in the Olympics. And I'm talking about running.
The grateful swimmer clutches a handle on the board and the two head for shore.
And remember, rip currents don't pull you under, they pull you out. So that's why if you relax, it gives you a better chance of survival.
Finally, they make it.
Thank God I got to him at, the right time, because I don't think he had much longer.
As predicted, riptides plagued the waters up and down the East Coast over the Labor Day holiday.
And you can't always see them. Some people say, oh, if there are no waves, that means there's no ripcord. That's not always true. And also, please don't do the human chain thing. That's not a good way of rescuing someone. That's actually a way to get more people potentially in trouble, so don't do that.
Minhaj Kidwai spent 6 months preparing for his next vacation, but his trip deep diving off the shores of Bali was memorable for the wrong reasons.
Oh no!
In deep ocean depths and then going sky high on an airplane in such short time gave him decompression sickness.
That's why they tell you have to be aware of this.
And as soon as we reached that altitude, that's when it just like crashed and it just hit me.
13 hours stuck on a flight back home and in horrible pain.
Yeah, so what happens in a situation like this with decompression sickness is when you go down into the depths of the ocean, the pressure is higher, so your body has more nitrogen, which is one of the gases you inhale. And as you have more of it, if you come up really slowly, you will naturally get rid of it. But if you come up too fast or go up too high, like you do on an airplane, you could actually have a bubbling reaction of the nitrogen. And as a result, you can get terrible, terrible aches, terrible pains. You can get even blockages in your blood vessels as a result of it.
My joints started hurting. My elbows, my knees, everything started aching.
Minhaj crumpled to the floor at DFW Airport, rushed to Medical City Frisco, then Plano, because here there's a hyperbaric chamber.
Hyperbaric chamber, get him.
5 hours he spent in this chamber, getting him down to pressure, and it worked.
That was kind of humbling. It's like, hey, when you take courses over it, you're warned not to do something. You're not God.
Yeah, and one of the biggest issues with decompression sickness is denial, where people think they're fine, and actually could be very, very damaging.
It's video sparking fierce reaction. A 6-month-old girl left to fend for herself after tumbling into a swimming pool.
Why? Is it because she knows?
Mom, Carrie Morrison, is coming under fire for standing by as her daughter Josie is lured into the pool by a brightly colored sandal.
I've seen that there is some way to teach. I'm not an expert on this, but I've seen there are some swim experts teaching children to swim in this way.
The video has gone viral with online comments like, I couldn't watch more than a few seconds, and these people are crazy.
I started Josie so early on the lessons because I lost my son Jake in a drowning accident.
I mean, if she's doing this with careful supervision, she's not chucking her child and walking away and saying, I'm gonna cook.
So when Josie was born, Carrie made a vow to teach the little one life-saving techniques at carefully supervised swimming classes for kids as young as 6 months old.
Look, with a certified instructor, I don't know how you get mad. It does look scary though. My palpitations did go.
It's a race to save this woman's life.
Oh no.
She's fallen into freezing water.
Oh, that's so dangerous.
Miller was unable to get herself out because her body went numb from the icy water.
Oh, that's so terrible because when you get into cold water, it can put you in a state of shock so quickly. Like hypothermia sets in like this.
Sheriff deputies rushed to the scene. At this point, Miller is dead weight.
I'm Take numb. A hand. Take the other
I'm
one.
completely numb.
Come on, girlfriend. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Out of the water, she lays on the dock.
I can't move.
She's alive.
The cop doesn't seem to be that worried. She's like, I can't move. I mean, rapid rewarming here is crucial. And rewarming isn't just done with like blankets and stuff. You could actually do warm fluids and that helps speed up the warming process.
A relaxing day at the pool turns into a freezing moment of pure panic.
Oh no.
A little boy walks through the open gate.
Yeah, why is the gate open? This is why we have pool alarms and pool gates.
Then, in an instant, the 18-month-old falls in. In a split second, his father turns into Superman. Look at him make a jaw-dropping dive over the 4-foot fence.
Oh!
Straight into the pool, saving his little boy.
Valiant effort, but I'm pretty sure he could have gone around for the extra second. But I guess points for doing it with flair. Pool shock.
It happened early this afternoon. 3 children in the pool apparently jolted by an electrical current.
Oh, that's so bad. The electricity can spread so quickly in water and then go through our bodies. If it paralyzes you or even knocks you unconscious, you can drown. What happens is it could literally shut your nervous system down. It can impact your heart where it creates an arrhythmia, which could also make you fall unconscious. It's so dangerous for almost every organ in your body. There are like a handful of deaths every year related to shocks in pools and hot tubs.
Our lifeguards were able to pull them out after the power was shut off.
Fire officials say they're investigating the possibility that the pool was electrified by a malfunction in the filtration and pump systems or else the electrical system that powers the pool's spotlights.
And that's the same reason why you never want to have your blow dryer working next to you when you're taking a bath. There's like a little label on every blow dryer for that exact purpose.
5 people, including 2 children, had to be rushed to the hospital because a chlorine cloud had formed inside the home. They were trying to prepare that chemical for their swimming pool.
Oh my God, yes, so chlorine can be a gas that's very, very problematic. It's an irritant, and the longer you're exposed to it, the less you can recognize it, interestingly enough.
My grandpa was just mixing chlorine into a tank for the pool and it exploded. My grandpa, he has it in his eyes. My grandma has it in her eyes. My mom can't breathe. My sister has chemical burn and my cousin has chemical burn.
I don't know what kind of chemical burn it is and why it exploded. You could get irritant dermatitis, which is like a type of contact dermatitis from chlorine exposure, but that's usually due to like sensitivities, hypersensitivities. This seems like it's more explosion based, but I don't know what created the explosion.
Lying in a bed on the 4th floor of Health Park Hospital, Zachary shares the shock still gripping him.
It's been a hard thing to go through.
Oh,
to
no.
wake up every morning and not see your foot there anymore.
He believes it started when he waded into the waters of Fort Myers Beach. In less than 48 hours, he was hospitalized.
They took me up to ICU, and within a few hours, they were cutting my foot off.
Oh, is this Vibrio?
He's sharing his story based on his firm belief the trouble was in the water. Fox 4 checked, and these recent water test results from the state health department show no advisories along Fort Myers Beach or elsewhere in Florida for that matter.
It made me feel horrible because this is the only way that I could have contracted this disease is that water.
Well, because you contracted it doesn't mean that it's ever present. It could be an unfortunate, unlucky situation. I mean, necrotizing fasciitis is probably what's being described here, where it's literally like parts of your body are dying off. And it usually happens as a result of a bacteria known as Vibrio vulnificus. Pretty rare, but it does happen. And when it happens, it's very, very bad.
24-year-old Robert Bunsa drowned during a contest to see who in the bachelor party could hold his breath underwater the longest. He suffered shallow water blackout, which happens when swimmers hold their breath too long. They lose consciousness and drown.
Was no one paying attention while he was doing that? They thought he was just good?
Guy's been underwater for like 7 minutes.
Okay, is he breathing at all?
Is he breathing? He's not breathing. He's not breathing. God, please.
I'm going to tell you how to give him mouth to mouth, okay?
We are giving him mouth to mouth right now.
Yeah, when you're out of air for that long, that's where there's one differentiating factor. When you have a drowning victim, you do give mouth to mouth with chest compressions, as opposed to if you just find someone down on the street. There, it's about calling for help, chest compressions only, no rescue breaths.
2 young boys out in the sun way too long.
Oh, no.
They're on one's back as big as a fist. Their skin scaling and cracked.
This is so terrible. These are significant degree burns from the sun. And even getting, 5 of these burns in your like teens, 15 to 20, raises your risk of getting melanoma by like 80%.
The boy's mom says the daycare center took them to a splash pad, but they ran out of sunscreen, and the boys didn't want to wear their shirts. This on a day when the heat index was 110 degrees.
Is that the heat index, or is that just the temperature? What is the UV index?
Look what they came home with. Large, painful blisters on their backs and shoulders. The brothers were airlifted to a hospital burn center.
Yeah, you legitimately have to go to a burn unit, get rehydrated, pain control. Sometimes you need sedation.
This newly released surveillance video shows 2 boys in an unguarded lazy river pool.
Well, it's a lazy river.
The boys were playing over a drain when one of them lifted a grate and somehow got stuck.
Oh, no.
The child is stuck in the drain at the pool.
At a minute 55, a vacationing Pennsylvania corrections officer reaches the submerged child and struggles for several minutes, attempting to free the boy. Incredibly, he also performs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation underwater.
I don't know if that's mouth resuscitation because the child is still with it, so he's just giving him oxygen, it seems.
When police officers arrive and dive in to help, the boy's been underwater for 7 minutes and 22
Wow, that's
seconds.
a long time.
Now all are working frantically to free him.
What are the police officers gonna do?
When hotel maintenance turns off the pool's pumps, they're finally able to free him 7 minutes and 40 seconds after he first went underwater. Officers immediately started CPR on the boy.
That's not a comfortable position for chest compressions. You got to get out of the water.
Witnesses say the boy's leg was lodged in a filter pipe, trapping him underwater.
Wow, that's so scary. Pools and water, 7.5 minutes, and he survived. Did you know that cats can be extremely problematic? And I'm not just talking about their behavior. So click here to check that out. And as always, stay happy and healthy.